Have you ever been insulted so suddenly, so cruelly, that you didn't even know how to respond? You froze, your heart pounded, maybe you smiled to hide the sting, or maybe you replayed the moment 100 times later, thinking, I should have said this, I should have done that. And let's be honest, we've all been there. Someone threw shade, disrespected you publicly, or used words like weapons to break your spirit. And in that moment, your dignity felt shaken. But here's the truth. The way you respond to insults reveals your strength, not your weakness. In this video, we're going to flip the script. You'll learn how to take control when someone tries to throw you off balance, not by fighting back louder, not by sinking to their level, but by rising above with power, poise, and unshakable purpose. Whether it's a co-worker, a partner, a stranger, or even family. This is your guide to handling disrespect like a warrior in silence. By the end of this video, you won't just know what to say, you'll know how to walk away stronger than ever. Because silence isn't weakness, and revenge isn't always loud. Don't react, pause. The moment someone insults you, your body tightens, your heart beats faster, your pride flares up like a fire. You want to speak back, defend yourself, say something that stings even more. But let me tell you something powerful. Don't react immediately. Pause. That pause, just a few seconds of silence, is where your strength is born. See, when someone throws an insult your way, they're not just talking, they're baiting. They want you to lose control. They want a reaction that validates their behavior. Because the moment you react emotionally, you give them what they want, your power. But a wise person doesn't react, a wise person responds, and only after understanding what's really happening. When you pause, even just for a breath, you regain control of the moment. That breath reminds you that you are not your anger, and you are not defined by their opinion. You are the one who chooses how this moment unfolds. Think of the most powerful people in the world, leaders, warriors, visionaries. Do they scream and lash out every time they are disrespected? No, they measure their responses. They don't let others dictate their energy. They lead with control, not chaos. And that's what you must do when insulted. That pause is your shield. Because in that pause you think, is this worth my energy? Is this really about me or about their insecurity? Will my words fix anything or just add to the fire? And most of the time you'll find this truth. Your silence is more powerful than any comeback you could ever give. Why? Because silence confuses the petty. It frustrates the childish. It elevates you beyond the level of their insult. When you don't react, people will wonder what gives you such inner peace. They'll question how you stay calm when others explode. And that's when you show them you've mastered yourself. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or ignore disrespect. No, it means you choose how and when to respond. You gather yourself, you protect your dignity. You stay grounded when they want to shake you. And the person who stays grounded, that person is unstoppable. So the next time someone tries to get under your skin, remember this. Don't feed their weakness with your reaction. Don't trade your peace for their poison. Don't become them just to defeat them. Pause, breathe, own the moment. Because when you respond from strength, not ego, you don't just win the argument. You win your power back. And that right there is a victory they can never take from you. Understand the source? When someone insults you, your first thought is usually, why are they saying this to me? But instead of just looking at the words they speak, you need to look beyond them. Because most of the time, the insult isn't really about you. It's about them. Hurt people hurt people. Insecure people insult others to feel taller. Bitter people try to poison others with the same bitterness they carry. Once you understand this truth, you stop taking their words so personally. You stop letting their poison penetrate your peace. Let me be very clear, insults are projections. That person may be fighting invisible battles. They might be carrying rejection, self-hatred, failure, jealousy, or trauma, and they don't know how to deal with it. So what do? They spill it onto the nearest target. But that doesn't mean you have to receive it. A wise person knows how to separate truth from projection. You don't absorb every word, you analyze where it's coming from. Ask yourself, why did this person say this? What's going on in their life right now? But what do they gain from trying to belittle me? Sometimes you see a person insult others not because they hate them, but because they hate themselves. Their words are just reflections of their own lack of peace. They insult your confidence because they don't have it. They criticize your progress because they're stuck. They laugh at your dreams because they gave up on theirs. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does free you from feeling like their opinion defines your value, gives you a new mindset. This is not about me, this is about them. You begin to move differently. You stop wasting your energy defending yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop lowering your frequency just to match someone else's bitterness. You begin to rise above, not because you're passive, but because you're wise enough to see the real source of the insult. It's like being in a storm. You don't get angry at the thunder, it's just a symptom of something bigger. You seek shelter, not revenge. Same with people. When someone insults you, don't fight the thunder. Recognize the storm inside them. And here's the secret. Once you see them clearly, you won't need to respond with words. Your peace becomes your armor, your growth becomes your answer, your understanding becomes your advantage. So the next time someone tries to break you with words, don't let it check you. Look past the noise, look into the source, and remind yourself, I see the pain behind their voice and it's not mine to carry. Now, that is the mindset of true emotional power. Silence is strength. We live in a world where everyone wants to have the last word, where silence is mistaken for weakness and shouting is mistaken for strength. But let me tell you a truth, most people miss. Real power doesn't make noise. Real power is silent. When someone insults you and you respond with silence, you are not surrendering. You're rising above the level of the attacker. You're refusing to play their game. Because here's what most people don't understand. Insults are traps. The moment you engage in a war of words, you've already lost part of your peace. You've stepped into their storm. You've matched their energy, and that's exactly what they wanted. But silence speaks louder than any comeback ever could. It says, you don't deserve a reaction. I value my peace too much to argue. I'm not available for this kind of negativity. When you remain silent, you force the other person to confront themselves. There's nothing to bounce off, nothing to fuel their fire. Your silence becomes a mirror. They see their own bitterness reflected back at them. And if you're truly wise, you'll understand this. Not every insult is worth a response, and not every battle is worth fighting. Silence isn't about being passive. It's about choosing your peace over pointless conflict. It's about knowing that your energy is sacred and refusing to spend it on people who aren't even worth your time. Look at the most respected, powerful people in history. The ones who built empires, led revolutions, or carried deep wisdom. They didn't argue with fools. They didn't clap back at every insult. They mastered the art of strategic silence. Your silence shows that you're focused, you're grounded, you're operating on a level where petty insults don't reach. Let them talk. Let them mock. Let them throw words like knives. You stay calm, stay composed, stay silent. Because silence doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've mastered yourself. It means you understand the value of restraint. It means you're building something so big, so purposeful, that distractions don't shake you anymore. There's a quote that says, never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. Silence is how you refuse to get dirty. It's how you keep your hands clean while others throw mud. It's how you walk away with dignity while they stay stuck in the drama they created. So, the next time someone insults you and wait for your reaction, give them nothing. Let them sit in the echo of their own words. Let your silence be the loudest message of all. I'm too focused to be bothered. I'm too grounded to be shaken. I'm too wise to waste my words. That's not weakness. That's mastery. That's strength in its purest form. Set boundaries without rage. When someone insults you, the emotional urge to lash out is strong. Your instinct might scream, don't let them get away with that. And yes, you absolutely should not allow disrespect. But here's the difference between a wise person and an emotional one. A wise person sets boundaries without losing control. You don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to insult back to show strength. And you don't have to rage to protect yourself. True power is found in calm, clear boundaries. Boundaries are not about revenge, they're about self-respect. When someone speaks to you with cruelty, you don't need to convince them they're wrong. You simply need to let them know their behavior has no place in your space. Let's be clear, being calm does not mean being silent forever. It means you choose to speak with clarity, not chaos. You can look someone in the eye and say, I don't accept being spoken to like that. If this is how you talk to me, I won't be around. It's not respectful and I won't engage with it. No screaming, no back and forth. Just a firm declaration of your worth. Because here's the truth. What you allow is what will continue. If you keep allowing people to cross your boundaries, insult you or treat you like less, they will keep doing it. Not because you deserve it, but because you didn't show them where the line is. You train people how to treat you by what you tolerate. But here's the key. When you set boundaries, do it from a place of inner calm. Don't come from a place of rage or desperation. That energy only weakens your stance. Instead, speak from a place of certainty, confidence, and dignity. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need them to agree. You're not setting the boundary for them, you're setting it for you. Some people won't like your boundaries. They'll call you cold or difficult because they can no longer manipulate you. That's okay. Your job is not to make everyone comfortable. Your job is to protect your peace. And if someone walks away because they can't handle your standards, let them go. Your boundary didn't lose you a friend, it revealed who never respected you to begin with. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It tells the world, I value myself too much to be disrespected. I honor myself enough to walk away from anything that costs me my dignity. So remember, you don't have to scream. You don't have to explain 10 times. You don't have to match their energy. You just have to know your worth and draw the line firmly, calmly, and unapologetically. That's how you protect your soul without losing your peace. And that's how the strong move, with quiet confidence and unshakable standards. Don't personalize the poison. When someone insults you, it can feel like a personal attack. But that's because insults are designed to feel personal. They are sharp, targeted, and meant to hit you where it hurts. But here's the truth you must hold on to. Not every attack is really about you. In fact, most of the time, what people say is just a reflection of who they are, not who you are. When someone throws poison at you, it doesn't become yours unless you pick it up. And that's where most people go wrong. They internalize other people's toxic words and start to doubt themselves. Don't do that. Imagine this, someone walks into a room and hands you a gift, but it's not something you want. It's offensive, disgusting, and insulting. Would you take it home? Would you cherish it? Of course not. Then why do we carry emotional poison as if it belongs to us? The moment you personalize someone's insult, you're saying, yes, I believe this is who I am. You give their opinion more power than your truth. And that's a dangerous path, because it leads you to question your worth, based on the opinions of people who may not even respect themselves. Let that sink in. When someone calls you stupid, ugly, worthless, or any number of cruel words, you must ask yourself, is this the voice of truth, or is this the sound of their own pain echoing? More often than not, it's the latter. You see, people who are happy, fulfilled, and at peace, they don't insult others. They uplift, they encourage, they move in love and strength. It's the broken, bitter, and insecure ones who need to bring others down to feel powerful. That's why you can't personalize their poison. Instead, protect your mind like a gate. Just as you wouldn't let a thief into your home, don't let toxic words into your heart. When the insult comes, pause and ask, do I believe this is who I am? Does this align with what I know about myself? Am I letting someone else's weakness rewrite my story? Your value doesn't shrink because someone else refuses to see it. You are not their words, you are your character, your growth, your strength, and your truth. When you stop personalizing the poison, something powerful happens. You detach emotionally. You observe the insult, not absorb it. And in that detachment, you stay centered. You stay free. So the next time someone throws shade, remember, you don't have to catch it. You don't have to wear it. You don't have to accept what was never yours to begin with. Reject the poison. Stand in your truth. and remind yourself, their words are not a mirror. I am not what they say. I am who I choose to be. That is strength, that is wisdom, that is power. Use the insult as fuel. Here's a secret most people don't know. The very thing meant to break you can be the thing that builds you, if you let it. When someone insults you, the instinct is to feel hurt, offended, maybe even defeated. But what if you chose a different response? What if you looked at that insult and said, thank you. You just gave me fuel. Greatness has never been born in comfort. It's been born in pressure, in doubt, in challenge. And yes, even an insult. Think about the most successful people in the world. At some point, someone insulted them, told them they weren't smart enough, told them they didn't have what it takes, mocked their dreams, laughed at their vision. But instead of letting it stop them, they used it. They took that energy and turned it into motion. They turned rejection into redirection, insults into intensity, doubt into discipline. That's what you need to do. See, you have two options every time someone tries to tear you down. Let it define you. Let it drive you. The first keeps you stuck, the second launches you forward. When someone insults you, they're handing you a spark. What you do with it is up to you. Some people let it burn them. But the wise, they turn it into fire that fuels their rise. That insult, that was motivation. That disrespect, that was your wake-up call. That hate, that was a reminder that you're doing something worth noticing. Use it. Use their doubt to sharpen your focus. Use their cruelty to deepen your strength. Use their low expectations to elevate your standards. Let their negative words push you to become so successful, so confident, so unstoppable that they have no choice but to watch in silence. But here's the key. Don't become bitter. Become better. Revenge isn't found in words, it's found in results. Let your action speak. Let your growth speak. Let your transformation be so loud that their insults become background noise to your victory. Every insult you receive is an opportunity to strengthen your mind, to develop emotional muscle, and to prove, not to them, but to yourself, that no one defines your worth but you. So the next time someone tries to insult you, smile, not because it didn't hurt, but because you know what to do with it. You know how to turn pain into power. You know how to turn insult into intensity. You know how to rise above, not just by walking away, but by walking into a version of yourself that they could never touch. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them throw their words. You keep building, you keep leveling up, you keep turning their poison into power. Because that's what strong people do. They take what was meant to destroy them and use it to fuel their rise. Never compete with an insulter. When someone insults you, one of the worst things you can do is try to compete with them. Don't fall into that trap, because the moment you try to match their energy, the moment you try to outdo their words with harsher ones, you've already lost. Why? Because you've stepped down to their level. Insulters want a reaction. They want you to feel small, angry, shaken. They want to pull you into their emotional chaos because deep down they're insecure. And if they can drag you into a fight, into a competition of words, it makes them feel powerful, even if only for a moment. But you must understand this. You don't rise by lowering yourself. You don't win by stooping to the level of people who thrive on conflict. When you argue with someone who is committed to misunderstanding you, you waste your breath and your energy. A wise person knows that silence, composure, and confidence are a far greater response than any insult. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to match disrespect with disrespect. You don't need to play their petty games. Because competing with an insulator means you've accepted the role they want you to play. They want to see you flustered, they want to control your energy. But when you refuse to participate in their little war, you win a much bigger one. The war for your peace, your power, and your presence. Think about it. Have you ever seen a lion argue with a barking dog? No. The lion doesn't even turn its head, because the lion knows who it is, and that's how you need to move. Let them insult, let them project, let them play their game. You stay in your lane, stay grounded, stay elevated, because your life is not a performance for their approval, and your energy is too expensive to be spent on people who don't even know who they are. When you choose not to compete, you stand out, you show maturity, you show strength, you send a message that says, I'm untouchable by your words, because I know my value. This doesn't mean you allow disrespect, you simply don't respond on their terms. You respond with distance, with discipline, with boundaries. You protect your peace like royalty guards the throne, without argument, without panic. In the end, people who insult you are seeking attention. But when you deny them your energy, you starve their ego. And that's the best kind of victory, the quiet one, the one where you keep rising while they keep wondering why they can't affect you anymore. So remember this, you don't compete with clowns if you're building a kingdom. You don't argue with fools if you're chasing purpose. You don't match insult for insult when you're born to lead with wisdom. So stay above, stay focused, and most of all, stay unbothered. The best revenge is living well. When someone insults you, hurts you, or tries to humiliate you, your first thought might be revenge. You might imagine proving them wrong with words, with confrontation, or by making them feel what you felt. But here's a deeper truth that takes strength to accept. The best revenge is not revenge. The best revenge is living well. It's not about getting back at them. It's about rising so high that they become irrelevant. The people who try to insult you want control. They want your emotions, your energy, and your peace. When you retaliate, you give them all of it. You hand them the power. But when you focus on your life, when you invest in your goals, heal your wounds, build your character, and elevate your mindset, you take all of that power back. There is no louder response than silent success. You don't need to shout about your progress. You don't need to convince them that you're better off. Just keep going, keep building, keep glowing in silence until they're forced to watch you from the distance of your growth. And when you rise, when your peace becomes unshakable, when your smile returns, when your spirit is no longer broken by their words, they'll feel the weight of what they lost or failed to break. Because true revenge is not in bitterness, it's in transformation. Let your healing speak louder than your hurt. Let your happiness speak louder than their hate. Let your confidence speak louder than their cruelty. When you live well, you rise out of their reach. You break the cycle they try to keep you trapped in, and you prove, not to them, but to yourself, that no one can define you unless you let them. Living well means putting yourself first, not out of arrogance, but out of love. It means choosing peace over pettiness, growth over grudges, and elevation over ego. It means working on your health, your dreams, your circle, and your vision until you no longer even think about their name. Because the moment they no longer live in your mind, you've already won. So don't waste time arguing with small minds. Don't replay the insult in your head over and over.
No.
Don't search for the perfect comeback. Instead, become so focused on becoming the best version of yourself that everything else becomes background noise. Let them watch you level up. Let them watch you succeed in silence. Let your life whisper the message they never thought they'd hear. I didn't just survive you, I outgrow you. That's not just revenge, that's power. So rise with grace, shine with purpose, and never let the one who tried to break you become the reason you lose your light. Because the ultimate comeback is your unstoppable rise. You've now learned something most people go their entire lives without truly understanding. You don't have to fight every battle to win the war, especially not the petty, insulting ones. Insults are not a reflection of your worth. They are a reflection of someone else's pain, jealousy, or insecurity. People who insult others do so to feel superior, to trigger a reaction, or to distract from their own brokenness. But the strongest response is not retaliation, it's elevation. Throughout this video, we explored 8 powerful ways to respond to insulting people. We talked about keeping your power by staying calm, staying boundaries without yelling, and and refusing to let others dictate your emotional state. We discussed the importance of not competing with an insulter, not playing their game, and most importantly, using their words as fuel for your growth, not your destruction. You've learned that the real power is in your silence, your discipline, your focus, and the ability to stay grounded in your self-worth. Because here's the ultimate truth. You don't need revenge when you have results. Your peace, your progress, your confidence, that's the only response that ever matters. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them try to bring you down. But you rise, you improve, you outgrow, you move on. Never give someone the satisfaction of seeing you crumble under the negativity. Instead, rise so high that their insults can't even reach you. Let your healing become louder than your pain. Let your discipline be stronger than their drama. Let your life speak the success that their insults could never silence. This doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. No. You protect your peace, you speak with intention, and you remove yourself from chaos without needing to prove anything to anyone. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. And that's the kind of person you are becoming. You are not defined by what people say about you. You are defined by how you carry yourself when the world tries to shake you. You are defined by your ability to choose strength over spite, grace over rage, and dignity over drama. So the next time someone insults you, remember this. You don't need to respond to everyone. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to lose your composure to prove your worth. Just smile, keep your head high, and let your life become the answer they never expected. Because the best clapback is a life they can never touch. So rise up, move forward, and let your strength speak for itself. Your silence is power. Your discipline is dignity. And your growth is the greatest revenge of all.